And this is the movement that you see in the form. It's the shoot the goose, followed in by a thrust. Here I'm going to use, you can also use it from a cut from the side, but we'll do the thrust here. And what I'm doing is I'm catching the duifang's blade. I'm using the flat of my blade. I can't use the upper end here. I've got to use the middle or even a little bit closer down to the fort of my blade. And I'm going to catch a duifang's blade. So I can set this up a number of ways. One could just be I happen to have been low. If I'm interacting with my duifang and I have to cut and my blade was a little bit low here, and duifang's to advance, I can bring my blade up from underneath and flick it to the side this way, and then I'm coming back with a thrust in. Could be the stomach or the throat. I can also feign that I've lost control, or my arm is tired. My arm might actually be tired if it's been a long bout, and I maybe do a P-cut and I let my blade go low. And that gives the duifang, especially the duifang is out a little bit, it's giving me a little distance, and I come in, boom, and the duifang thinks, oh, there's an opportunity, and as he starts to advance, I'm not taking it on the cut so much. It's a little P-cut, I can do it, but really looking for the duifang to be advancing. He's bringing his energy out, his arms are maybe a little bit stiff. From there, I'm coming over this way, kind of like a windshield wiper, boom, and I got to drive that with the waist, of course. So if we just start with our sword from a downward position, I'm going to roll it to the flat. If you're going to set this up, it's not a good idea to start like this. Kind of tells the duifang what's up. Give your P-cut, let it drop a little bit, and then as you see the duifang's coming, then you turn it and come over with a big step here. So it's a big spring from your leg, and a big turn of the waist, and I'm springing up here, so I'm getting not the strength of my arm, but I'm applying the strength of my entire body, so I can just really throw the duifang's sword to the side, and then I make that opening to come in with my thrust. So I'm here, a couple of things that we really need to pay attention to as far as where we're flicking the blade to. From here, the common error is to kind of flick it somewhere to the side. Your sword is almost going just on the cardinal, maybe the tip slightly forward, but it's here. If I do that, you can imagine the duifang's sword is there. As I catch the blade and as I go to the side, my sword will slip off the duifang's sword. My sword's going over to the side here, and I've opened myself up. If the duifang's quick, he may just stir around and come right into me. Right? I don't want that. So that's the first error. The other one is not to go low enough, to go kind of here and stop. So if I'm coming in, when I go here, that just doesn't give it quite enough power. Really need to come here. And this is how it is in the form. That's where you finish. My blade is, my duifang is right on the cardinal. My blade is 45 degrees to the side and 45 degrees to the floor. This is very important. If you're less than that, you haven't quite given it the power and the flick it needs to drive your duifang sword offline. Because what you're going to get, if you do this right, you time it right, as the duifang is advancing, and you catch it, you're going to flick his sword over like this. If you do that first error where your sword is just going on the cardinal, you're going to flick his sword like this much, very easy for him to come back around and go in. If you don't do it quite with enough power, you both end up sort of here, and it's not difficult for the duifang to just rotate around here, stir around, say counter with a P-cut. So this is a real speed movement that you have to use sufficient power. Right? You always have to use sufficient power. So when you catch a duifang and surprise him, you want to flick it over here, and now, then you come right in. You come in with a hua cut from the side or it's straight into the throat. Usually works quite well. All right? So let's look at it from the same kind of perspective here. So I'm here, I have some interaction. Boom, I go here. Or maybe I just drop my blade and I just resting for a moment. Duifang tries to come in and I got to come up this way. Use the flat of my blade over to 45. So it's here, big turn. Blade is going to go up and over and finish, pointing toward the diagonal, 45 degrees to the ground. Ready?